Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I really want to start doing more videos where I just talk as well as vlogs. I know I'm terrible at uploading to my YouTube channel. Let me get comfy. I think there's five videos on my channel right now, but not enough considering that I have so many vlogs. I did a poll recently on my Instagram. My Instagram is Nessafu. Follow me on Instagram and Nessafu Travels on TikTok. I did a poll recently, should I upload old vlogs, and people said yes. So I am currently editing a vlog from 2 years ago, but the information is just as relevant then as it is now. The places don't change, and it will be good to share because I record them for the sake of YouTube. I just never get them out. Okay, so today I wanted to tell a little story time. I also did a vote on what people want to hear from me on YouTube when I do a sit down video like this, and people said story times, and I was like, I could tell a good story. So I'm hoping this won't be too long. I thought I would just take it back. I don't know if I want to do a series of how I first started traveling or story times from when I started, but my first ever trip that I took was to Barcelona, Spain, 2013. I had just got my passport literally 1 month before in July. So in August 8th, I always remember the day, I did my first ever trip. Like I've already said before on my channel and on Instagram, I couldn't travel when I was younger. My family couldn't afford it. I didn't have a passport until I got a part-time job when I was 18. I saved up for my passport, and then I paid for my own trip, my first ever trip. Got the travel bug, and now crazy to think it's been 10 years this summer since I've been traveling. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that the first ever trip that I took, I fell in love with traveling, yes, but it was the trip I met my ex. We're not together anymore, and I really don't have any bad things to say about my ex. He's an amazing guy. I'm not gonna go into why we broke up and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna go into the story of how you can find love abroad. We were in a long distance relationship for 5 years. It was an amazing, beautiful relationship. We learned so much together. And yeah, we didn't break up because of the distance at all. It was never an issue. And I always say, if you're gonna do long distance, it has to be worth it. You and the person have to really want this, and also you'll just know, it will just align. But I can do a whole series on all of that. But anyway, this video is just gonna be about the story time of how I took my first ever trip abroad, the first time leaving the UK, and I fell in love. So I went to Barcelona, like I said, and I was with a friend at the time. We're not friends anymore, but just because, it's 10 years, we just drifted apart. But it was just me and her, and I always wanted to go to Barcelona or Barcelona. I used to live in Spain, so sometimes I try to say it in the Spanish way, Barcelona. I know they speak Catalan there as well. It was just a great place, I think, to go for your first ever trip because you get a mixture of the culture. There's a lot to do there cultural wise in terms of food, tours, history, but you also get the party scene. And I was 18 years, and my birthday's next week, depending on when this goes up, and my birthday is May 30th. I don't know if it'll be next week when this goes up. So June, July, August, I was 18 years and 3 months old. And I wanted to party, I wanted to enjoy, in Europe and UK, legal drink, going out age is 18 years old. Obviously I've been partying way before that, but I was really official and legal, and I was going to university, but not yet. So I was okay, this is great. Let me go out and we have fun in another country. So I went. Do you know what's crazy as well? I didn't even meet him on my first ever trip. I met him on the first night of my first ever trip. And I believe that him and I were meant to meet because we had an amazing relationship. Again, I don't have really bad things to say about him, really. But it's just wow, sometimes you go on a trips and you want to have a little romance or meet a few different people and just have fun, if that's your vibe, And it's the fact that I basically met him, fell in love, he ended up leaving, and then literally, I probably chatted to other guys whilst I was there, but he was on my mind the whole time. And we had a beautiful whirlwind relationship after that, of traveling and going to see each other because we lived in different countries. But yeah, so Spent getting there the first day, check into, do you know what's crazy? Back then as well, we did an Airbnb. Airbnb 2013 is not what it is now. I'm telling you, the way that now it's like got the support and you can just book somewhere instantly and go. Back then you had to pay a deposit on Airbnb for a place, like a security deposit. I know some places now, maybe you might go to it and they will do it individually. But back on Airbnb, it was like, even if you were only spending like 500 euros for the week, you had to pay a deposit. That was so different. We checked into our Airbnb. It was nice, but it was like, whatever. But I can do another story time again about my first ever trip, that experience. But this is about, yeah, falling in love abroad. So we checked in and got food, and it was already late. And you know, a lot of the times when you arrive on holiday, vacation, you're like, you don't really have time to do much. Like, it's too late to go to the beach, blah, 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 too late to explore. You just take a little rest, you go out for the night, and then the next day you do like tourism, all the other cute stuff. So we got ready to go out. We went out to this club, and like in Barcelona, I haven't been in a few years because I've been like twice since then. So I've been 3 times in total. But at the time it's my first time. We don't really know where to go. So on the beach, the main beach there, they have all these big clubs. And anyone who's been knows what I'm talking about. I've actually forgot the names of the clubs, but it's like they're along the beach. So like, on the roadside you enter, but then you can go out through the clubs, through the back, and you're on the beach, which is the same beach that you can like swim at, sunbathe, and all of that during the day. And do you know what? Oh, I think the club was called like Shoko. Yes, it was called Shoko, S-H-O-K-O. We went to that club, and it's very like music, which I can do. If it's like a good house, I can do it. But if it's a little like too heavy techno, but you know, I was just happy to be there, have a good time. And there's like all different kinds of people from like all over. And yeah, so we were out, it's probably like 4 or 5 a.m. at this point, because obviously the clubs stay open really late. And we're walking out, but if you leave out the backside, like the beach, you can like still come back in the club because you have a wristband. You can literally like just go on the beach, chill, come back in, because they have like an outdoor patio. All the clubs in that area have like outdoor patios, and then you can like come back in. We were like walking to try and get off of the beach to get back round to the road, but bearing in mind, I think there's at least 3 or 4 clubs. There may be less, there may be more now. It was like crowded. There was so many people, it was impossible. So you know, like when you're at a festival and like, or even in a club, like people were walking this way, other people walking this way. I don't know if it's like security made it like this, but it was like people were walking like opposite directions. So me and my friend were walking like this, and there were loads of people like walking this way, and I'm just walking along like with my friend, like we're holding hands, we don't lose each other, trying to like get out of the beach area. And out of nowhere, like when I say out of nowhere, because it wasn't like everyone's just chatting, it's like people just trying to get where they're trying to go to. So I wasn't paying attention. I just hear someone go, wow. And of course, like, you know, back then I was a cutie too. Like, people all night and just in general, even in that day, had like approached, tried to say hi and stuff. So like, I didn't like, unless like someone was cute, you know, I wasn't looking. So, but a lot of the time, like the guys weren't cute or whatever. So when someone said wow, like really loudly, I just kind of like kiss my teeth, like whatever, like I'm not paying attention. But I swear to God, I went like, didn't pay attention. But then something in my head went, okay, you're annoyed, but still look. So I looked, and then it was this fine guy, and I was like, oh, okay, hella tall. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I went, hey. And it's funny, obviously I can't remember the exact like exchange dialogue that we had, but all I know is that next thing I know, me and my friend have exited the line, the queue that we're in, trying to leave. We're walking this way now to go to the beach rather than to go to the road to get a taxi. Then we're like sitting down, because everything is like, come and talk to me. So I'm like, okay. And then my friend's coming along, and like he has a cute friend as well. So my friend's like talking to his friend. My friend and his friend ended up like chatting for like a few months after, but they didn't go the long term and long distance like we did in the end. But so like him and I, like we sit down on the beach and we're sitting with his friends and we're just chatting, and like we just really get along. And honestly, I don't know if it was love at first sight, but you know when it's just like, you just know. I had never been in a relationship at that point. Like even as like a teenager in school, I was never that girl who had like boyfriends. Like I always wanted one, but I just never had one. Even when I was like a teenager, like even just a little one, never had one. I always felt like, oh my God, nobody likes me type of thing. So like, yeah, but I had experience with guys, obviously, like, especially as I got older, like hanging out with guys and like flirting and all of that stuff. Like I was totally aware of that. But like just the whole like talking to people, dating way, going on dates, I hadn't really done. So it was just like exciting. But it's like, so even though I hadn't had that experience, it was like I just knew. And I'm like, listen, this is my first time out the country. I'm having a good time. I'm excited. So I was like, do you want to come back with me? Like, so he's like, yeah, but his friend actually didn't end up coming back with my friend. So he went back. And I know you guys are thinking, whoa, 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 slow your roll, Nessa. 18-year-old Nessa, she was trying to have a good time. I'm trying to have fun. And I'm gonna be honest. This whole, you shouldn't have sex with someone on the first date, I believe do what feels right for you. But we had sex on the first date, the first night. We didn't have a date, the first night, and then we were together for 5 years. So don't always believe that just because you're holding off on a guy, that it's gonna make you guys have a longer relationship. You can have sex with a guy on the first night, never see him again. Sex with a guy on the first night, you marry him. Make him wait, never see him again. Make him wait, you can marry him, have a long-term relationship. I don't believe there's any rules around that. I think you should just do what's best for you. I don't care or judge people either way. So he came back, yada yada. He didn't stay over. He like went, but like early hours of the morning, like 7 a.m. So kind of stayed over. We got back, I'd say like 6 a.m. and he probably left at like 9. And then he was like, you know, I thought I'd never see him again, honestly. I was like, oh my God, I just think so crazy. Text me like a few hours later after he'd left. Me and my guys are going to the beach. He was with a group of like 8 or 9 people in the end, which is his friendship group, which I came to know really well, and they were all really cool guys. So then we go to the beach to hang out with him and his friends, and they're all really nice and stuff. And him and I are like, oh, there's a fly. Him and I are like, just like being all shy as if we didn't like talk on the beach for an hour and then talk in the apartment. Me and my friend had like separate rooms in the Airbnb, because back then Airbnbs, well, in Spain it's still cheap, but they were like really cheap. So like she had one room, I had the other room anyway. So like I wasn't like disturbing her or anything. Just like really shy, not like chatting with each other. And I don't know, I just remember like him and I not talking that much, but he was leaving that next day. So like he was actually leaving the morning after, so we went back out with them that night, had a great time, and then he left. I was just thinking, you know, I've just had a holiday fling, I'll probably never see him again. It is what it is. No, him and I, within 2 weeks of me getting back to the UK, he lived in the Netherlands, him and I stayed in touch. We were like, we have to see each other again, and I flew out to Amsterdam. He didn't live in Amsterdam, he lived in The Hague or Den Haag. But Amsterdam to the airport, the flights are super cheap. They've always been super cheap, and it's like a 45-minute flight from London to Amsterdam. So I went, and like it was just crazy. Like everyone thought I was insane. My mom, oh my God, I don't even think I told her that I was going to see a guy, because luckily my friend came with me, the same friend. She came with me because she was talking to his friend. I just say, like, sometimes you gotta be spontaneous and do what you gotta do for love, because even though him and I are not together anymore, there were like no hard feelings, and like genuinely, that was the first time I've ever been in love, like real love, and like grew so much in a relationship and learned so much. So like, just taking that risk and being spontaneous and going for it and just following my heart, like 100% worth it. And so if I could just kind of, you know, I guess give anyone advice from this, is just to, if you feel sure about something and you know, you have the means to get yourself out of a situation, because obviously it could have been risky going, but sometimes you have to use discernment, and I believe that I've always had really good intuition and been able to read people. I just don't always follow it. But in that situation, I followed it, and again, I ended up knowing him for 5 years. And we're still even cool now, we're just like not together. Like if you have a feeling and there's something that you want to do, as long as you're sure, you know, you can get yourself out of a situation, as long as you feel like safe around the person, I would say just go for it. But within reason, you know, like I've had other situations where I've met guys and they've been like, okay, I want to see you again, come see me. And I'm like, say it doesn't feel right. So in that situation, it felt right. Yeah, that was my quick little story time. I just want to do quick little story time videos like that, just for like, I guess, give people more of an insight into me and my traveling history and all of the, because I have some crazy stories. And that one I feel like is just cute, had a relationship, but like I've had mad, crazy stories that have happened whilst I've traveled for like the last 10 years. Like it's literally my 10-year anniversary of traveling in August from that trip. So I want to get into more story time. So let me know if there's any other just themes or things that you want me to get into, and I'm sure I can like pluck a memory from my head and share with you guys. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe for more. I'm definitely gonna be posting a video about all the countries I've lived in because I've already recorded that, and then also a vlog soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.